How's it going, Lost Ark? Sethphir here, and I have been playing a lot of this game. I have been sinking in a lot of time, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, so I wanted to share some general information with you, and I'm going to talk to you today about the importance of alts. Alts are super important in this game, especially if you want to progress faster than what is normally allowed. You don't have to, of course, everyone should go at their own pace, but if you're a tryhard like me and you want to get ahead and get an advantage, it's definitely going to be in your best interest to invest some time into alts. And it is more important and more beneficial to do it now more than ever because currently in the content patch, everyone's setting at about 1400 for the whale players, and they're just kind of locked at that level, right? There's nothing else you can do at 1400 eye level. That is the phase 3 argos, that is the max, so everybody's just kind of waiting on new content at the moment. So it is a great time to get some of those alts up, and in addition to that, there are a lot of events going on right now that are going to make it way easier for you to get those alternate characters up by providing you with tons of tier 1 and tier 2 honing materials and resources for free. So we're going to talk about all that today. So the breakdown here is going to be, first we're going to talk about the general benefits of alts, then we're going to talk about their daily benefits, their weekly benefits, their one-time benefits, and finally the best way that I learned to kind of level up and deal with alts. So we'll go ahead and dive right in, and we'll just talk about some general benefits. But first, before we go into all of that, as you can see, I am $13.99 on the screen. I am a free-to-play player. I have not spent any money other than just buying a general founders pack to play the game early. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get to 1400 right here and right now. And if not, well, we're going to have to wait a while. So we're going to go ahead and use our max upgrade materials and roll the dice. Wish me luck. Hopefully this is it. And it looks like it is, so we are 1400 now, so we're going to be able to do the phase 3 Argos this week, which is going to be fantastic. I'm glad I did that on stream. I think that was a little bit of the stream luck there, so that's perfect. So that is going to be 1400 item level now, which is going to be fantastic for me. So this character is officially maxed out. I'm good to go. I don't need to get him any further than 1400. I'm now free to work on those alts I was talking about. So now we're going to go ahead and dive into that. The general benefits of the alts, we'll go ahead and teleport over here, but there is a sort of a character limit cap. I know you can have a lot of alternate character slots. Some people have like 24. That's crazy. I don't know why they would do this. This is way beyond insanity at this point. But generally, there is a limit to the amount of characters that can receive gold in a week. And if we go mouse over here in the Argos raid, we can see that Abyssal Dungeons, Abyssal Raids, and Legion Raids have a unified gold reward limit per character. So that means when you receive gold from an Abyssal Dungeon or Raid or anything like that, your character is saved. It's one of 6 characters that is saved, and if you have more characters, you're only going to get gold up to that 6 limit. Once you reach a 7th character, it's not really worth your time, and I think that's pretty much the stopping point. So if you get 6 alternate characters, and that is a lot of work, trust me, don't ruin yourself getting there. Just go slow at your own pace, right? Do what's fun for you. If it starts to feel like a job, don't worry about it. Like, just play what's fun for you. So this is going to be the reason why you may want to get 6 alternate characters, and since everybody is hard stuck at this 1400 item level point where it's just no benefit to go any higher than 1400, you might as well get some of your alternate characters up to prepare in the next content patch, and there's tons of benefits for doing that. Another reason is that there are a bunch of events going on usually in Lost Ark. So right now we have this extra Guardian raid event, and we also have the Arkesia Grand Prix, and there are a lot of nice rewards there, but the best part is each alternate character that does one of these daily things, like a Guardian raid or a Chaos Dungeon, will generate you event coins, and these all stack up. So I would get essentially, if I have 6 characters, I would get 6 characters worth of event coins just constantly. So it's very easy for me to buy out the entire shop. As you can see, I can buy out pretty much anything I want and hold these on these other characters. So I have tons of coins to do anything I want to do with just because I have alternate characters. And it's good to take advantage of these shops for some other reasons, because they will offer you tier 1 and tier 2 honing materials, which makes it super easy to just collect them weekly and then just cash them all in on your alt, and you don't have to do much work, if any at all, really. So that's going to be really good to do. The other thing to say is that it will offer you access to Una dailies that you may want to complete, but not on your main character. There are some Una dailies that give skill points, potions, and different things, but the amount of rewards that they give are maybe not ones that you want. Like, it'll reward honor shards or silver, and you don't really want that on your main character. You want these like greater these leapstones. So it's going to be your big driving force to get your honing progress upgraded. So what you could do is you can go on an alternate character and do a low level mandatory, I always say mandatory in loose terms, Una quest, like something that would unlock a skill point, like the Whispering Eyelet quest, where you go and like teach some animals how to sing or something crazy, but it gives you a skill point once you do it so many days, right? You can use that low-level alternate character to use his daily to kind of do that quest for you and get that reputation up, so you can collect that reward and get that skill point without having to waste the daily on your main character. So that's going to be a nice benefit. Speaking of that, there are Bifrost slots on each character, so you can park them in a location like near all these Una dailies, so you can just teleport, boom, knock it out, easy peasy, takes like 30 seconds and you're good to go. You can also set Bifrost for events, so like when we look at the compass, you know, I could see, oh, there's a sailing event coming up. I could have a character parked in that area with the, you know, Bifrost already activated, and I could just switch to that character and go there instead of having to physically move my main character across the entire continent just to get to something. So that's something that's really nice. And then there's also a lot of benefit that you can receive from your Stronghold for these alts, so as just a general thing. And I believe once you hit 1370 or 1385, you receive tier 3 honing chance success increase, which will allow you to get your alternate characters into tier 3 and not require as much materials, and make it a lot easier for them to catch up and get into that content where you can start making tons of weekly gold. And a lot of that weekly gold is locked behind Argos, and it's locked behind the Aurea well and the other raid before that, so the Abyssal dungeon thing. So you will generate a lot of gold per character. I think it's something like 600 gold, 800 gold, 1,000 gold per each one of these runs. So you can see they can get very crazy really fast if you're willing to put in the time and the commitment, because it is some time and commitment. Trust me, it's a lot of time, and it can be very tedious, and that's why I say go at your own pace, because do not burn yourself out. This game will run you into the ground. It will let you do infinite things, but just, you know, focus on the things you want to do and have fun with it. That's the, you know, the big core philosophy here. But once you get that Stronghold going, it'll make everything easy for you, so you don't have to spend very much time. So you kind of progress your main character a little bit further, and then you can backtrack and slowly get your alternate characters up. No big rush on that. But there's also the knowledge transfer system, which allows you to skip the storyline for the certain item tier advancements. So you can skip the Roendil storyline, you can skip the Yorn storyline and the Phaeton storyline, as long as you have a character that has done it once. So for every character that has done it, you now get access to a character that can completely skip that. So essentially you're gonna have to do the storyline 3 times if you do want those 6 characters, and then the other 3 you can use skips to just kind of pay a little bit of gold and like kind of fast track past that. So it's going to be really good for you to do in the long term. So those are going to be like the general benefits, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the daily benefits. So the daily benefits for every character that you ascend up, and I have currently 2 characters in tier, or 2 extra characters in tier 3, so along with my main. So I can do a chaos dungeon on those characters, which takes 5 minutes. I get 2 of them every day, and I get about 200 or so red crystals, 400 to 500 blue crystals, and I can directly transfer those to my main character. And that's what I've been doing. I've been funneling all tradable materials to my main character. Anything and everything I can get my hands on, I just deliver directly to my paladin, and I use it to increase its gear score, its item level, however you want to call it, and I just power it up like that. And it's essentially, I'm for every character that I have in tier 3, I'm gaining days into the future, right? So my paladin can only do this twice, and I get a good amount of materials, but then my bard can do it another 2 times. My Deathblade can do it another 2 times. So now I'm getting 4 times of the Chaos Dungeon materials just directly funneled into my paladin. So I'm just getting miles and miles ahead for what I would normally have to do is just sit there and wait on a daily reset, right? So these are all really nice benefits. You also get for the dailies, you get the Guardian Raid 2 times. And then this is really going to be nice because you're going to get a lot of, again, blue and red crystals, but also leapstones are tradable from the Guardian Raids, so you can actually sell those on the auction house for a lot of money. I was doing that when the market was booming, and I also was able to funnel a lot of those leapstone and materials to my other characters, which was definitely really strong as well. You also have the chance to get books, which sell for quite a lot. You can get these epic and legendary engravings, and I believe even from the first level tier 3 guy here, I had my bard get a legendary engraving book that sold for 8,000 gold just out of nowhere. It just generated for me, so that was fantastic to see. So there's a lot of great benefits that you get from that. And then you also have access to the Una quests, so if you want to, there are several Una quests that give things that could be transferred over to all accounts. So like you could do quests for silver that would allow you to get a good income, and you may not think silver is valuable right now, but trust me, you will in the future. You'll start to run out and you'll be like, wait a minute, I need silver. This is what I need. So you can use your characters to kind of get that if you don't plan to progress them any further. There is some nice sweet spots right in tier 3, right around like 1340 that you could hold your characters at and get kind of a nice really benefit without having to go too far. But each character that you get up will obviously increase that gold yield. So it's probably wise to get them up in the future. So I would still say going for leapstones is probably better. Then we are going to go ahead and take a look at the weekly benefits, and these are where the really massive ones come in. And actually, before we go into the weekly, we'll talk about side benefits for dailies. So for the dailies, this special event that's going on right now with the Winter Illusion tokens, you can do this once per character, so your alternate can do it for you. You could do it on 6 alts if you want, and then all those characters would give you that currency like we talked about with the Arkesia Grand Prix before, and then you just spend that currency to buy whatever you want on whatever character you want, right? Like you can even get these tier 2 materials for your alts to boost them up faster, however you want to do it, but I usually just funnel all the main tier 3 materials to my main character. Okay, so diving into that weekly section now, we'll talk about that. So the best weekly things you can do with a character, and the number one thing that's going to be really awesome is trading in pirate coins for honing materials. You can get blue and red crystals. You get about 300 red crystals and 900 blue crystals, which is a large amount. That's like 2 or 3 maybe honing chances, which is going to go a long way. It does cost a bit of pirate coins, but if you do some sailing quests, or maybe converts a little bit of sun coins but not too many, or you're doing cowthirds every day for the pirate coins, you're going to have plenty and you're going to be able to buy those, and that is per character weekly. So I now have 3 tier 3 characters that can buy these upgrade crystals from the pirate coin ship vendor, which is that T and Libra ship. It's parked outside of every continent, even the tier 1 and 2 continents. There is one parked out there, so you can buy materials like that. I would only recommend it for the tier 3 and maybe the tier 2 materials. Don't waste your time on the tier 1 stuff. But that's going to be something that's going to be really nice boost of honing materials. It's going to power you up quite a lot. The next thing is going to be the Bloodstone Guild Shop. It's going to be available in any town in Punica. It's here in the top right, or bottom right. The Bloodstone Exchange Vendor. You will go there and you can get materials that you can trade to any character. So you can use those Bloodstones that you gain from checking in and doing your guild quests, as long as you're in a guild, that you can just kind of convert over. So again, it's additional tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1 materials that you can trade over to your other characters to boost them up. So you can funnel into your main, and you can funnel your other alts to progress them faster, so you don't have to wait as long or do as much. And that's my favorite part, is you don't have to do as much, right? Like I could just buy all this stuff from a vendor. Eventually I'll be able to boost a character from tier 1 without ever even having to play that guy, more or less. Like I can do maybe a little bit here and there with the rested experience, but I don't have to do much, right? It's not much of a time sink for me. So that's going to be great on the weeklies. As well as the weeklies, you also have the Abyssal Dungeons that you can do. And so even your lower tier characters can do the Abyssal Dungeons. It doesn't have to be a tier 3. You will generate some amount of gold, which is pretty nice. So if you look at things like Gate of Paradise, you'd be able to get a few books and gold, but you can also get cards. Cards are very important in the late game. They're extremely hard to get, especially legendary cards. So these are nice to do on your characters as they're leveling up. It'll also give you a lot of honing materials and gold. So this is going to be something nice to do. And if you manage to get them into the tier 3 stuff, you have a chance to get golden engraving books, which are super valuable, and large chunks of gold, like 400, 600, 800 gold, even 1,000 gold in Argos. Some of these hard mode things give very generous amounts of money. So this is all going to be used to boost your main character even further and eventually catch up your alts to your main, which would give you, even more sources of income, right? So this is going to be really nice to do. So in addition with the gold, the Abyssal Dungeons, you also have the Abyssal Raid. If you can somehow get your second character to 1370, which I haven't been able to get yet, I'm sure there's some whales out there that have, but eventually I'll get there, right? You're going to get access to an additional Argos, which has a ton of gold and materials that are going to be generated weekly for each character that can do that. And then finally, you have the Una tasks, which are in a weekly manner. You will be able to get some big weekly tasks, like this one for the cube, 72,000 silver. That is nothing to sneeze at. That is pretty generous, if you ask me. And there's a couple other ones along the way that you could use to kind of transfer over. Most of the leapstones are locked, but if you're looking for something to get for your main, silver is always a good bet, because you will always need that to re-roll, whether it's ability stones or gems or whatever that may be. You're going to need these things, as well as the large amount of silver it requires to update and upgrade your honing materials to get from like plus +1 to +12 up all the way up to +15. It takes a large amount of silver. It's actually crazy. So with the weeklies out of the way, we will talk about the one-time events. So the one-time events is going to be the thing, it's going to be Anguished Isle, which is a island below Punica that you will be able to go to when you're around. Well, you can actually go there at tier 2, technically. You'll be able to spend a currency called Crimson Skynes, which will allow you to buy honing stones. You can get 50 leap stones in that box. You can put it in your roster storage, so it's tradable. So you'll be able to funnel leap stones into your main character, the tier 3 leap stones. You can also get tier 2 leap stones, so that's a great way to power up your alts. If you want to go there a little bit early, just take the time to sail there. It is per character that can buy the leap stones, so that's going to be a nice boost to your main character, as well as any character looking to progress from tier 2 into tier 3. And then there's also a few other engraving quests from the low-level zones for green and blue engravings. Sometimes they're a little bit expensive on the market, so if you're like looking to make a Berserker alt and you don't want to pay 70 gold per blue or green engraving for the Mayhem, you can do these low-B quests that give engravings as a one-time benefit. You can definitely take a look at like a website or something to kind of figure out what those are. I think I was a Max Roll or something that I used a lot to see where some things were, but that'll tell you where those engraving one-time bonuses are, so that's going to be an additional benefit you can get on alts. And I think that's going to be about it. From what I saw, the best way to make alts is to make a character that you find fun, and if you don't have any characters that you find fun, just make a character that's popular. And the way that you can find a character that's popular is just go to the market simply and search up like engraving books, and then just look at the price of like legendary or rare, and anything that if you sort from like high to low, anything that costs a lot is probably a popular class. So we can see here, Shadowhunter book costs a lot, Berserker book costs a lot, Paladin book costs a lot. All these are probably going to be in high demand, so that means that people most likely roll that class. I'm actually surprised not to see Sorceress book up here, but I know that Sorceress is a very popular class as well. So I think getting classes that are popular is good, because when a character receives jewelry from a chaos dungeon or raid, it will generate preset stats or engravings based on the class engraving. So if you have like a Berserker alt, you will be getting Berserker jewelry, which is highly desired on the marketplace. You might actually be able to sell that for a large amount of gold. So that's something to think about, class popularity. If you're making a class, you might want to maybe go with a Berserker or a Sorceress or a Shadowhunter, something that a lot of people play, like Gunslinger, and then you'll be able to sell those. You will have a lot harder time selling like gun lance items or scrapper items, right? Because they're just not as popular classes. So just probably consider that when you make an alt. But that's pretty much going to be it. I hope this information helps everybody. I know I wish I had started doing alts a lot faster than I did. I did not play on the Korean or Russian servers, and I do not whale in this game, so I can see how this type of thing could get you ahead. You could always be further ahead, obviously, so I just wanted to share that knowledge. And if you're somebody that's really interested in Lost Ark right now, you want to put a lot of time in, you're looking how to progress your character faster, this is definitely the way, and now is definitely the time with all these special events going on, with Tier 1 and 2 honing books and crystals and materials just being handed out for free. It's going to be fantastic to do. There's all kinds of opportunities, including the PvP vendor, which can give you a lot of boosts for these alts and make it very, very easy for you to get them in Tier 3 and start funneling materials into your main. Alright, that's going to be it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell if you're looking for more Lost Ark content. We're also going to be touching up on New World and keeping track of that as well. So if you're interested in that, that's a good place to be informed on. Thanks for your time and watching the video, and we will catch you in the next one, everyone.